Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And I'd really appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up on the video as well. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 to 4:15 Central Time, or outside of my YouTube channel, you can consider joining the Discord I have. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to see some of the meals or recipes that I've been enjoying as I work towards my goal. Today is day 899, one day away from 900, 101 days away from 1,000. It's amazing. But it's day 899 today. And so far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose over 245 pounds. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I love hearing your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I really love hearing those as well. And if you're succeeding with your diet, let us know what you're doing. Share it with everybody so we can see how it's done. And if you're struggling with your diet, also let us know, and maybe there's something we can help you with. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are going to do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Going to switch over. I'm already on the main screen. I wasn't even paying attention. So I hope everybody had a great evening last night. We had a lot of fun. Our oldest is in Boy Scouts, and they had it's called something, honor guard or something. It's where they have kind of a special ceremony when they give out awards for the boys ranking up or receiving merit badges. And so it was a lot of fun to go and do that last night and watch our son. He actually was the MC, so he was kind of running the show, I guess, with one of the other kids. But it was fun to go and participate in that. Something that, I bring up when I go to these social events or these more public things. I just kind of always think about how much different it is now going there and being seen by people, and how I feel about being seen by people versus my attitude to 899 days ago. I don't have any anxiety towards it, and I never really felt like I had anxiety, but I think the reason why I never had anxiety is because I would find a way to avoid going to those things. So I would just avoid the anxiety, and I knew I would find a way to avoid it, so I never got anxious over it. Now, I don't mind going to these events. We had to stand up front, kind of when he was getting one of his awards, we were up there with him. And, the only thing I was probably self-conscious about was looking silly in the clothing I had on, because a lot of my clothing is too big. But that's a good thing, I suppose, as opposed to being worried about standing in front of everybody and my clothes being too tight. Our Tiny Acres checking in. Hello, Our Tiny Acres. Pretty Girl's mom, hi, and happy Tuesday to you as well. And Tennis and Yoga Girl, happy to have you here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Spring is really kind of here. It's been a little bit chillier the last couple days. We need that warm front to come through, but Was that playing audio through my phone? I don't think it would have been, but I don't know why that video was even on. So yeah, the weather's been getting really nice, and just getting outside and being in the sun is great. And just because, we've been cooped up in the house, it feels like all winter, or, a lot this winter. Let me see. I took it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and look at food for the evening, or food since yesterday. Let me see where it starts. So last night it was Monday, right? Last night was Monday. I didn't even think about it being Monday last night. So everybody knows what we had for dinner last night. Since it was Monday, it was Mega Veggie Chili Monday. We actually didn't eat that until after the event. We had a lot going on, or it was kind of had to deal with a lot prior to going, so I didn't eat until after, and I made sure to get a very big bowl of Mega Veggie Chili. This is one of the meals that our whole family eats, or this is the Mega Veggie Chili for me was the food where I neuroadaptated to this diet, right? That's where I found the neuroadaptation. And so I feel like over the last couple years, we have kind of pushed this meal at our kids more than any other meal that we make. And the result of that is that we get more compliance from our kids when we have this from dinner. They may grumble a little bit, but they still take it and eat it. So that's the downside of that, is that means there's less Mega Veggie Chili for me to eat. And so this bowl was my only bowl of it because we didn't have any more. And it's part of the reason why the bowl is so full, is because as I was scooping my bowl out, I realized that there wasn't very much left. And so I might as well just take the rest of it. So I tried to get a picture here to show just how full the bowl was. I mean, it was up and over the top there. And then Stephanie here says, wow, that looks amazing. Yeah, it was. It was really good. We put a little bit of chipotle pepper seasoning on it. I think it's a Great Value brand, so it's like a Walmart brand seasoning that we put on there, and it just has a great taste and a wonderful texture too. There's so much about eating that, having varying textures really helps. One of the comments our kids made when they first saw it, because it was a bit surprising to them, and the reason why it was surprising to them is because generally when we make the Mega Veggie Chili, we cook all the vegetables, and then after that cooks, we open it up and we put in the grain. Not barley or farro. Oh, it's the one we use all the time, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's whatever these little things are here, if you can see them on the screen. Oh my God, it's driving me crazy. Somebody will hopefully give me the answer to what is it? Anyways, so we put that in there. Generally, so we put it in there, we bring it up to pressure, and then we let it depressurize very quickly, and then we eat our dinner right after that. So it doesn't sit in bulgur wheat. There you go. Thank you, pretty girls, Mom. Sorry, I might have yelled that. Yes, bulgur wheat. So we usually put that in there, cook it, and then eat it right after. Well, yesterday we put it in there, cooked it, and then came back 2 hours later and ate it. So all of the bulgur wheat blew up bigger than it usually does. And so it surprised the kids, but it gave it a great texture. It's that feel of that rice, or that bulgur wheat, or the farro, or the barley, like the satisfaction I get from chewing that food, I is the same satisfaction that I would get from eating my favorite foods um in the past. You know, like it slows me down eating. And Carrie says, "Whoo, soccer day." She's just checking in real quick. Yeah, kids have soccer tonight. Um and all kinds of fun stuff. So yeah, so that bulgur wheat, like the chewing it, like and I don't chew it all up, but you know, as I'm finishing up each mouthful, I find myself really kind of uh chewing that down into, you know, a finer kind of consistency. Also the chickpeas and the carrots all have great textures in there as well. So that was dinner last night. Um, I came into work this morning and I just hopped on the scale. I know I got weigh in Wednesday tomorrow, but I've been continuing to be happy with the scale, and I kind of just wanted to show, you know, that I ate this huge amount of food really last night, and I also had bananas and oranges last night as well that I didn't take photos of. And I got on the scale today and I'm down even a little bit more. So it doesn't mean that I won't see that come up a bit before tomorrow. You know, I don't think that I will put back on, oh, what is it? 6 pounds between today and tomorrow, you know, but we'll see how it goes. And so yeah, I just kind of hopped on the scale real quick before I ate my breakfast. I forgot to take a picture of the oatmeal, but I did get a picture of the broccoli. You guys all know what my oatmeal looks like. It's we use a mix of oat groats and steel cut oats with mushrooms, onions, and spinach in it, and it's a wonderful oatmeal. Then for lunch today, I ate lunch very late, kind of finished it about half hour before the stream started here, but got 5 potatoes there and a bag of broccoli all mixed up. Throw some table tasty in there, and that is lunch for today. So very happy with the diet right now, how things are going. I feel extremely satisfied with my day. No worries, Karen. Great to have you here. I've been starting a little bit later anyways. So I didn't get started till 4:15 today anyways. So no worries. Let me go ahead and turn that off. But yeah, you know, I mean, I'm really losing a few pounds this last week and then having even more weight come off since the weigh-in that I had last Wednesday really has got me in a great mood. I'm really happy about how things are going, and that kind of, you know, bleeds into all aspects of my life, which is something I was going to talk about. So I had found a random YouTube channel today. And it was someone, I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but I might pull this up just because I can. Let me see. But I thought I would share because she is saying things that I think are cool, and I don't know if she has anything to do with the True North Clinic or not, but let me pull up her page here. Her name is Michelle, and it's Sen, or Cen is the last name. So let me go over to here. All right. So this was her YouTube page here, and the reason why I was looking at her page was I was looking up stuff about whole food plant-based. I like to get on YouTube and just look up recent videos where people were talking about eating whole food plant-based. And she was doing a video that was 5 ways to stay compliant on a whole food plant-based diet. let's see. Karen says, yes, she used to be at True North. That's what I figured she must have been, because she's wearing a True North shirt in the one video here that I watched, and she talked about the doctors at True North and things like that. So I was watching that video of hers, and she made a comment that I had probably heard the term before in my life, but I hadn't really thought about it in the context of my diet. And she was talking about there's a acronym called HALT, and it is the 4 risk states that affect your mood and behavior. And so it's HALT, so it's hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. And after hearing her bring that up, because she was talking about recognizing why you are wanting to eat something that's not compliant, or why you're trying to eat something that is less than optimal for you. And the hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, it made me think of something that I had brought up last week, and it was how we have a lot of stress in our life through different things. And when we eat diets that are low volume diets or calorie restrictive diets, we are adding stress in that hunger category. And so if you are always carrying around a high level of stress in that hungry category, and then something comes and makes you angry, or you're at home and you're feeling lonely, or you're tired, and you start building up stresses in those categories, and you're getting angrier and angrier because work isn't going the way you want it to go. You have this anger building up from work, and you also have this hunger building up from your diet, and both of them are creating this stress that's adding to each other. And you're sitting there going, I can't fix this stress work quickly. I have to do all of this stuff to fix this stress work. But to fix my hunger, all I got to do is open my phone and have DoorDash bring me food, or all I have to do is get in my car and run to the fast food restaurant a block away. And so I can near immediately, without any effort, remove the hunger stress that I'm putting myself under. And so that creates some relief. And then you still have the other stress going on in your life that you have to deal with, that you are actually ignoring, because you have now relieved some stress, so you feel better. And so you feel like you've done something to fix your problems. If your stress combined has you at 90% and you eat and it drops you down to 50%, you still have that stress level that you're dealing with, but it's better than being at 90%. So that's you can look at the bright side then, and then down the line, you get back on your diet, that hunger stress starts building up. You still haven't dealt with the other things, and it's not good for you to try to answer or try to relieve your other stresses by solving your hunger stress. But with this diet that I'm eating, I don't have that hunger stress. Like my lunch today, it took me an hour to finish my lunch because I wasn't that hungry. And so I was busy and I kept getting distracted. So I would just kind of eat it as I came to it. And so that, I have work stress, I have life stress, but I'm not adding to it by eating a low calorie, low volume diet and running around being hungry. Let's see. Yes. Stephanie says that she's heard of her. Karen said she's in New Zealand now. That's crazy. And then Karen saying she just moved a couple of months ago to be with her boyfriend. That's cool. And then she's been on Chef AJ. Her name was Michelle Cen. I don't know how you pronounce that. But that was her channel here. I don't know if there's an about on her. Yeah, it just says she's a Stanford grad, interested in plant-based evolutionary psychology and art, and sharing her learnings. So that's cool. So, but yeah, it was just that hearing that random video just sparked me to look into this. And I really think that it's a big reason why people fail on their diets is because they're using their diet to relieve, they're breaking their diet to relieve stress, but it's not where, I used to give my dad a hard time because, he would, one of my brothers would upset him and then he would yell at one of the rest of us. Carrie's phone must have done that on accident, Karen. I'm sorry that that happened. Let me see if I can fix it here. And then also let me know if the connection's still working because my system froze over here. So Carrie is pocket. Let me text her and see if she knows she's doing this. Yes. So she must have heard me saying it. Yes. I don't know. It should be something where you can, she must have accidentally blocked or put those in timeout, but let me know. My video isn't working here. So let me know if it is actually working on your guys' end. Let me see. It keeps saying I have an excellent connection. Okay. It looks like it's working now. Just reset it. So yeah, I think you guys should be able to chat in a few minutes again if you were blocked. So, okay. Great, Stephanie. It's working everywhere. Works fine. Yeah. Sorry guys about the distraction. I was talking about, attacking the wrong thing, like they always talk about how like people that are in, you come home and you get mad at the dog, but the dog didn't do anything to you, or like I said, my dad would be mad at one of my brothers, but he wasn't right there. The brother he wasn't mad at wasn't right there. So, anything we did could make him, upset, I guess, or more likely, or it's not the right. There was a higher probability of it, I suppose. And that's kind of human nature, is that if you got something you can't solve, maybe you let it out on something else. And we do that with our life and our food choices. And we think that, like I said, it's so much of it is about the content of what we're deciding to eat. It's the calorie density of the food that you're actually putting in your mouth, because I don't have, like in the past with how stressful work is right now, I would have absolutely gone to food to kind of relieve that, stress, or to try to make myself feel better. But now I don't think about food that same way. I don't eat my breakfast till, 10 a.m., sometimes noon. Today, one of my coworkers came in while I was eating at around 11 o'clock and was like, eating lunch? And I go, no, I'm eating breakfast, because I wasn't hungry and I didn't need any food, and food wasn't going to solve any stress I had, because my stress wasn't from food. And it's just an interesting kind of I wish I knew this. I wish I knew it 900 days ago. I really did. I had no idea that this is what eating this way was like, um and the change that it would have on my relationship with food. And the other thing, the title, or the thing I was thinking about a lot when I was doing the title and the thumbnail for today's video was how every time I tell somebody who's been trying to lose weight over the past 5 to 10 years, every time I tell them that I eat potatoes and rice, they are shocked. They do not understand. It does not compute. Like, when I say that I eat 5 potatoes for lunch every day and half a cup of oats and oat groats for breakfast and huge bowls of mega veggie chili for dinner every night, that doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense to them, because that's not what they're presented with in the world. It's not what they're seeing. They're not seeing people eating this way and the effect that it has, because there's no money to be made eating this way. The potatoes and the rice are the cheapest things in the world you can eat, and they can't mark it up. There's no proprietary anything in a potato. There's nothing proprietary about carrots. Like, you could grow them in your backyard if the store made them too expensive for you. You can't grow a cow in your backyard. It's something where that's why meat is, $8 a pound or something crazy now, whereas rice is like $1 a pound. And so if there's no money to be made, then you're not going to be presented with it by what we're seeing in the world, because everything that you see from the time you wake up, unless you live off grid, somebody paid for you to see that. Somebody made sure that, there was some reason why you are looking at their logo, the colors they chose, the font type they chose, the product, that they are trying to sell. Like, that's put in front of you so they can make money. And if there's no money to be made, then there's no reason why anybody would put it in front of your face. Our Tiny Acres here says, yeah, a lot of people don't believe you when you tell them what you eat. I think that they don't. I think that they must think that I'm lying. And that's why I show my food every day on stream here, because I don't want people to think I'm lying about the volume of food that I eat, or that I'm eating 3 meals a day and they're full meals. I'm not eating OMAD or 2 meals a day and trying to volume restrict myself and in hopes of calorie restriction. That's why people volume restrict, is because they are trying to lower their calories. Well, if you change the calories, you change the density of the food that you're eating, then you're going to just naturally eat fewer calories. Cindy says, hi, just checking in. Finished your physical training or your physical therapy. That's great, Karen. I'm glad that you're back. I actually have physical therapy this Thursday. I'm hoping I don't forget. I have forgotten the last couple times because my arm doesn't bug me that much. One of my kids was asking me the other day about, if I'm all healed or not, and they're like, well, you haven't worn your brace for a long time. And I was like, yeah, I didn't really like that brace. And so I wore it for as short a time as I could get away with wearing it. But yeah, with the talking to people about this way of eating, they don't believe it, which is just crazy. And I see so much, and it's the way social media works, but I see so much more about people eating these low volume ketos. Yeah, Cindy, let me just shoot you my, I can just, I think I could put in a something on my calendar on my phone, right? Yes, everybody can just shoot me a text message. So yeah, they just, because they're not seeing it, and the companies that are showing you people that are, having success with their programs, a couple things is there's no proof that the person they're showing actually lost weight on that program, unless you have something like I'm doing, where I have a record of just about every day of me checking in, talking about my diet. Hello, Glow. I hope you're having a great day. So you don't even know if the photos of the people you're seeing on these commercials or advertisements are actually people that lost weight doing that program. You also don't know the sustainability of those programs, and the long-term effects or the long-term results of those programs, because when you see a photo of somebody, when you look at my thumbnail on this video, that's just a snapshot of time, and there's no guarantee that 10 years from now I'm going to be skinny or doing this. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be, but 10 years ago, I never thought that I would have gotten to 520 pounds and then started eating this way to lose weight. And so there's, so when you're seeing these photos, you don't know the longevity of it. And I don't know, there's people that are saying now that I've been eating keto for 30 years, but keto didn't exist for 30 years. So what did you call it before? Like, what was your parameters before keto? Because I don't believe that there's people that were eating that way 30 years ago, or that many, and that they've continued to do it for 30 years. But I do believe there's a lot of plant-based people that have done it for 30 years. And I would not have believed it. Like if you're somebody that's 30 minutes into one of my videos and you're all on with keto or carnivore, and, I wouldn't have believed that somebody could eat plants for 30 years and be healthy. But now that I'm in this, world and I'm looking for them, I see lots of examples of people that are doing it. And they might have changed, things within the being plant-based, but they, a big common denominator, a lot of those people that never crossed that line of eating animal products, or, and there's a lot of people, like the Goldhamers, that don't eat the oils, or the salt or the sugar. Some people might just keep oil out and have salt and sugar occasionally throughout their 30-year, history with their diet. But I don't think that there's people that are truly been carnivore, like not eat a single, well, I don't know if I don't think carnivore allows for, I don't even know. But anyways, and let's see. Hey Barb, you're here, you're just multitasking, no worries. I just what was I talking about? I was talking about the the longevity of the diet. Like I truly believe that this diet has the potential to sustain me the rest of my life. I really do. Like that's I never felt that about any diet because, you know, back when I lost 100 pounds a decade ago, I knew, you know, that I was relying on a drug to help me with my appetite. Or in 2009, when I lost weight, I knew that I was losing weight each day because of how hard I was working in the gym. You know, like I was having a hard time being satisfied eating those high calorie dense foods and staying under, you know, my total daily energy expenditure. So in order to see the weight come off, I would be at the gym all the time doing cardio, doing classes, just trying to bring, you know, go from having 100 calorie surplus in a day to having 100 calorie deficit for the day. And when you know that when you don't make it to the gym one day, then you can't do anything to bring yourself into that deficit. And then sometimes one day of missing the gym turns to 2 and to 3 and to 5 and to 30 and to 300 and, you know, so on. But all those diets, I feel like they rely on doing something that goes against my instinct. It's against my instinct to get up and just run on a treadmill for 30 minutes just to do it. You know, I would definitely, you know, going outside, being active, those things I understand, but going to the gym, staring at a wall, sitting on a bike, it's not fun. I've done it lots and lots. I was actually telling a story yesterday about the first time. So this is the first time I ever cut weight. Second time I ever cut weight. First time was wasn't really, but okay. So when I was in high school, I used to wrestle. And I was kind of young for my age. I was born at the end of the school year. And my freshman year wrestling season got over. And after the season was over, you could continue to wrestle kind of in a club wrestling is what I guess you would call it. And I would do that. And after wrestling season, my freshman year, there was a national club event up in Detroit, Michigan. It was actually in the Silverdome, which is the football stadium up there in Michigan. And my coach came up to me prior to us registering, and he said, you know, you're kind of in a position here where you can wrestle with there's a grouping for, you know, 8th grade freshmen. And then there's a grouping for sophomore through junior, and your birthday falls where you could wrestle with the younger group of people if you wanted to. But in order to do that, at the time I was 250 pounds as a 15-year-old. And I had to lose 25 pounds to wrestle with the younger group, but I was going to have a much better chance winning matches in the younger group versus being a freshman wrestling senior. So I thought, you know, it's worth it to try. And so my coach at the time, he was like, well, the tournament is right after or at the end of our spring break where we get a week off of school. And he said, you know, you're normally at school from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Why don't you come in? I'll open up the wrestling room and you can get on the exercise bike and you can ride the bike from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday to try to cut that 25 pounds that you need to cut. And so I showed up Monday morning, hopped on the bike, rode it, you know, as much as I could, and then would get up and kind of run around the room and then get back on the bike. And I did that for 5 days and I lost 25 pounds. And so I qualified to wrestle in that weight class up at that tournament. And I didn't do very good in the tournament still, I guess. I don't remember how I ended up doing in the end. But that was the first time I cut weight, and I did it sitting on an exercise bike, going home and eating 8 ounces of ground beef and 16 ounces of water. And that was no fun. I mean, it's a quick way to lose weight, but man, it's boring sitting on that bike trying to keep it over a certain speed, or just keeping your heart going. And when I was 15, I could do that. Like, I'm 41 now, and I got a wife and 4 kids and a job, and I don't have 8 hours to sit on an exercise bike, a day. And so, and like I said, it just goes against my instinct to have to work that hard all of the time. I understand work. I work hard. Feel like I work very hard in some respects, but I don't, it's running a marathon isn't the biggest thing. Let's see. Janet says, sorry, she missed you. And hi, no problem. Hi, Janet. And Karen says, you're switching between me. Oh, Janet's on right now. Okay, no problem. Let's see. And then the other diet thing that everybody's trying to do. So you're trying to exert yourself far more than you naturally want to exert yourself. And then you're trying to restrict your intake far smaller than you naturally want to do. And the world is convinced that you have to do one of those two things or those two things together to lose weight. And I'm sitting here 250-ish pounds lighter going, I did neither of those. I had a gym membership for 2 months after I tore my distal bicep tendon in 2021. I did a sprint triathlon prior to tearing my distal bicep tendon, that all of my workouts were like actually doing the event parts. Like, I would go and I would walk a 5K because part of the event was a 5K. I would go and I would ride my bike for 10 or 15 miles because that was the biking portion of it. The swimming, I didn't have a great place to practice the swimming, but I would, try to work out, a hard, long bike ride or run, and then swim to kind of, do that. But I did that over 42 days. I did 42 days because that's the prep time I gave myself for getting ready for that sprint triathlon. I had fasted for 41 days. I'd lost 150 pounds, almost 200 pounds at that point, and decided I wanted to do something to physically challenge myself to see if I could do it. Looking for something to do to physically challenge myself, I found that there was a sprint triathlon, which is just like if you know what a triathlon is, it's a swim, then a bike ride, and then a run. Well, a sprint triathlon is just a very small version of that. So it was like a 400-meter swim, a 15-mile bike ride, and a 5K run. But when I was looking for something challenging to do on the calendar, that was 42 days later. And I was like, well, I'll give myself 42 days to get ready for this. And I completed it, and I was dead last, but I got it done. Pretty Girl's mom says that Janet's over there making mega veggie chili. Yes. Get some of that mega veggie chili. That was dinner last night. It is good. And the great thing about mega veggie chili is you just change the recipe to your taste. If it has too much jalapeno in it, reduce the jalapeno. If it doesn't have enough, throw more in it. Sometimes we've put probably mushrooms in it, or we've put all kinds of different things in it. Just it's a fun dish to kind of play with. You just need a bunch of cans of veggies and you just throw them in the Instapot. So that's great. That's these two huge diet myths that are out there that are like, this is what you have to do to lose weight. Go to the gym, eat less food. And I'm not doing either of those things. And I feel like I'm seeing as good a weight loss success as anybody has seen or will see. And and I'm looking forward to tomorrow's weigh-in, because I think I'm going to see even more results. And to be 900 days into a diet and still be losing multiple pounds a week, and those multiple pounds being pounds that are going to get me lighter than I've been. So I would understand being 900 days into a diet and then being, 20 pounds above where I was at my light. Let's say, I had a week or a month where I gained 20 pounds. I would understand losing a couple pounds when I recommitted, because, if you're going to gain 20 pounds over a couple months, you've probably gone off diet, or you've been doing some things that aren't the best for you. So you would see pounds come off when you recommit, when you go back to your diet. But I'm not at that point, like that was last week. I was kind of like, I lost 4 pounds and I was like, well, yeah, I guess, I was kind of 10 pounds up from where I was at my lightest. So I, still seeing 4 pounds was a lot, but to see another 4 pound, like I think my lightest right now is at 272, and I would be surprised if I come in at over 272 tomorrow. I really hope I don't. But I'm seeing those results. I'm not going to the gym. I'm doing yard work. I'm helping out with the kids. I'm playing with the kids. I'm being busy at work. I walked a bunch of steps today at work, probably not, I didn't have my watch on for half the day because I was charging it. So that's why I don't have any steps today. But I don't really look at steps that much. Like, it's a casual thing. It's not something where I'm tracking, I am tracking it passively because my watch is attached to my phone, but I'm not doing huge workouts and things like that to lose the weight here. Let's see. Cindy here says you were listening to Dr. Fuhrman, and he was saying if you are non-compliant 10 to 20% of the time, you will set your progress back, and it keeps you addicted to unhealthy foods. Yes, abstinence is the key. If you don't want to be unhealthy, then you need to abstain from eating unhealthy foods. If it's the same with pregnancy, like abstinence is the only thing that's 100%, right? Well, it's the same way with diet. That's the only way that you're going to be able to overcome any of these temptations that you might have, or these crutches or whatever, is to abstain from them, to remove them from your diet, to not have them around. And then that's really where you're going to see the best results. And, it really just depends on how close to the top of the mountain you want to get, and I want to get to the top. So many times I've tried to summit this weight loss mountain only to fall into a deeper pit, and have to climb up even further, or to make it tougher for myself. And over the past 900 days, I've seen what happens in my body and with the weight loss based off of the food I'm putting in my mouth. Like that's the one kind of thing that has been consistent for me, is that I've really wanted to do this diet through diet alone. I've in my head wished that I could do it through diet alone for 20 years. And I never really thought that it would be possible. And, I still have, what is it, 50 pounds to lose, and I may have to become more active, but I don't think I have to go to the gym to get to my ideal weight. I think that what I wanted to do when I started this was to find out how I had to eat to be 220 pounds. And I truly believe I have found how I need to eat to be 220 pounds. And the 4 and 5 pound weight losses I've had these last couple weeks, just push that even more, in that I'm way too overweight for my diet. Like my diet cannot sustain somebody being 280 pounds. And so my body's naturally trying to get to the point where this diet that I'm eating is sustaining it at that weight, reaching that equilibrium between what my weight is going to end up at and in the diet that I'm eating. Let's see. Carrie, Pretty Girl's mom says that you think Dr. Fuhrman is right about if you're 10 to 20% non-compliant, it's going to set you back. Yeah, it slowed down my progress. That whole second year, the 11-month period there, between day 330 and day 660, non-compliance 10 to 20% of the time really screwed up my progress. And I went from being on this rocket ship where I lost 200 pounds in a year, thinking that, I would have no problem getting the last 100 pounds off, to struggling for 11 months with this yo-yoing between, yo-yoing is a bad word because people think of weight. I guess this flip-flopping between being 100% compliant and, it's just one meal, and then 100% compliant, and then, it's just, because we're out of town. And so that 10%, it would be one meal out of the 21 meals that I was eating in the week. So it was even probably less than 10% of a compliance thing. It was probably like a 5% compliance. Slowed down my progress and made it, and the problem too is that I wasn't just eating avocado, like that wasn't, eating avocado, eating nuts, eating dehydrated mango, eating all the higher calorie dense things that we can have, the nut butters, the Ezekiel bread's probably, but those are less awful things than the Burger King Impossible burgers that I was eating, the vegan pizzas that I was eating, the processed foods. That's the 20 to 10% compliance where my issue was that that I was buying processed foods, and that those processed foods are so far from what I was eating, what I am eating to lose weight, that it was it was like this huge, it was like somebody pulling the handbrake in the car. It wasn't like somebody, just gently hitting the brake pedal. It was like somebody was pulling the e-brake on my diet every time I would eat one of those meals. And somebody said the word salt there. Yeah. And all the salt that I was having there. Cindy is asking if Dr. Fuhrman identified what non-compliant is. Well, that's the thing too, is that Dr. Fuhrman, I don't believe, recommends salt, oil, sugar free, or his diet program, I don't think, is it? salt, oil, sugar free, maybe somebody knows. But yeah, that my diet is about the most I don't know, it's such a, people use the word restrictive, and it's not restrictive, but it's the most defined by what is not in the diet because I guess because of the no salt, oil, sugar, right? Like, but it feels like the diet is honed into a specific channel of eating or a specific way of eating. And then Carrie saying about the Dr. Fuhrman that she also believes that it slows down the progress because she still eats sugar here and there. But when we did the reboot, she was 100% and it made a difference. Gene says, just like you increase your activity from the start, you will naturally move better at 200 pounds. Yeah. And yeah, like I ran from my front door, the back of my truck. I bet it's not even 20 yards, and it's kind of an uphill run. And I was surprised at how much easier it was than even the last time I ran, because the last time I ran, I was 320 pounds. So I'm 45 pounds lighter now than I was the last time I ran for more than 2 steps. And I could feel a difference in that, because that was the worst part about the sprint triathlon that I did, was the running part of it. The swimming was tiring, but not awful. The biking I had no problem with, but the running really was what killed me. I walked the whole run. That was the reason. When I started the run, I was not in last place, but by the time the run got over, I was in last place. So that was something that that's part of the reason why I after the triathlon, I decided that until I get down to a much lighter weight, I felt like I was hurting myself by running. And I actually was talking to a friend of mine who used to do a lot of running, and he was big, bigger than me at this point, and would run half marathons. And talking to him recently about that, and he was kind of shaking his head about how he messed his knees up a bit from that. Because he's still heavier and dealing with the damage he did from trying to do long runs at that heavy weight. So that kind of is what pushed me to back off on doing anything. Well, I had made up my mind that I was going to back off from doing things. And then I tore my bicep tendon 4 days after I ran the triathlon. So that really kind of put a craw in whatever, put a barrier in my progress. And then Cindy here says that Fuhrman comment was in reference to oils, sugars, and processed foods. And yeah, so that was kind of what I was saying too, is that the oil and the processed foods are the big things. I think sugars, it gets complicated when you get into sugars, but yeah, I think that, yeah, I don't see any reason to add sugar to my diet. If I want sugar, I just go eat some oranges, and that seems like that's just as good as having added sugar in something else. Karen here says that last year you found yourself eating Taco Bell a lot because you were in physical pain, and it was easier to drive to Taco Bell than to stand and prepare your food. Yeah, that's rough. It's, it's that convenience. It's so easy. And it's hard to find, it's hard to think of ways that could have been convenient and satisfying that would have been as easy as, going to Taco Bell. But um it's tough when you have other things going on. That's like what I was talking about earlier with the halt thing. If you got other things going on, food can relieve your some stress, but it's relieving your food stress. Let's see. Pretty Girl's mom says, uh, more nuts, less grains, and potatoes. I'm not sure what that's in references. Gene saying that dry starches can be as bad as the sugars. I kind of felt that way with the rolled oats that I was eating. And then I used to eat, I haven't had it for a long time now, but I used to eat shredded wheat all the time when I was kind of bigger, as losing weight here and trying to kind of satisfy the the food volume needs I was having. I would eat shredded wheat, and that probably wasn't the best for me. Let's see. Dr. Lisle said Taco Bell was food to him. I don't know what that is in reference to. But maybe, yeah, there's nothing at Taco Bell that would tempt me. Yeah, Gene here says running at a heavy weight is bad for your joints. I really did, feel like it wasn't comfortable, and it was just easier or I think that it's it just makes more sense for me to wait, like if I get to a point where in the next 25 pounds, I, I think I can start doing more of that kind of stuff, running and things. I might try picking it up and seeing how it goes. And the story I told about the losing weight in high school. So I was a freshman. One of the things that happened as a freshman at my school, you had to take PE class. As an upperclassman, you could get out of it while you were in a sport. But my freshman year, I was still had to take PE. And so after I lost that weight, we ran the mile. And so it was, I had gotten down to like 225 pounds. And I ran the fastest mile I had ever run in my life. It was a 9 minute and 2 second mile. And I was at the lightest I had ever been to. And so maybe when I get back down to that weight, I can try to beat that 9 minute, 2 second mile, see how I do. Let's see here. Cindy's asking if Dr. Lisle sustained a head injury. Cindy is saying he can eat a burrito once every 3 to 4 months and it doesn't bother him. And you found it calling you the other day. Yeah. Yeah. Hearing somebody like that kind of make a comment that, you know, can kind of, start listening to Goldhamer. Goldhamer would never say that. And also you're talking about somebody who is at the ideal weight. Like that's, if you are at your ideal body weight, then maybe you can sustain a Taco Bell burrito once every 3 to 4 months. But if you're not at your ideal body weight, then that Taco Bell burrito once every 3 to 4 months is going to slow down the progress. It might not stop it. It might not, keep it from happening, but it might, that's part of the reason why I have to be okay with not hitting the 3 years if I don't hit it, because I know I made choices that slowed me down, but it doesn't mean that I don't get to the finish line still, or I don't get to that weight loss goal still. It's just not going to happen as fast as I wanted it to happen because of those past choices that I made. Let's see here. What did I say? Gene's saying that you'll enjoy running. Yeah, I'll enjoy running with less weight or at a better weight. It takes a lot less effort. I noticed that just running to my car the other day, that it definitely took less effort than I expected it to take. I was like a bolt of lightning, it was crazy. Karen says that you feel salt is worse than the other two because it sneaks up on you and makes you want food. So my opinion would be that at no point is oil better than either salt or sugar. Like there's, I don't know of any justification for oil. Between salt and sugar, though, it's a tie. I would almost be with you with the salt. I think that the salt is worse for you than the sugar, and it scares me that the world thinks the opposite. And it either means that there's something wrong with me, which is likely, or there's something wrong with the world. So, but yeah, I think salt's worse. Salt is, for me, is a killer for a diet. I wouldn't, and I think that the difference too is if you're going from a salt abstaining diet to having a little bit of salt, if you're eating a diet where there's salt in your diet regularly, you might not see as big a difference from a slight salt increase. But the difference between having no salt and having a little salt is crazy. I think that if I wanted to, I don't even know. Like, none of it even tempts me. Like, I'm thinking about what I was, doing a year ago when I was having my issues with being compliant, not compliant. The sugar didn't put weight on me like the salt put weight on me. From a weight loss standpoint, I think the salt is worse. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, is that, if I were to add salt to my food, I would see my weight increase near immediately or faster than if I put sugar on my food. But like I said, I'm not tempted to do either. So it's hard for me to hypothetical in my head, run the hypothetical in my head. But yeah, the salt definitely causes overeating. Yeah, everybody's saying salt is sneaky. Pretty Girl's mom says salt is worse. Yeah, and then Cindy says that oil turns your blood into sludge. Yeah, that's pretty awful. And yeah, it's so weird, just the disconnect that we have with how what we put into our mouth, what it actually does once it's in our body. It's the saying, out of sight, out of mind. That is absolutely what happens with food. Like, it looks pretty, so I'm going to eat it, but you don't think about what it's doing once you don't see it anymore. Yeah, so it's been a crazy 899 days, one day away from 900. It's been wild, 900 days. And 900 days ago, if you'd have told me that I was going to eat a high carb, low fat diet and I was going to lose half my body weight, I had to been so grateful that you told me I lost half my body weight, but I wouldn't have believed you I did it that way. And that's where I'm at, like, just all of it just is crazy. Yes, Pretty Girl's mom, day 900 is on weigh-in Wednesday. I should get out of here because I've been talking for a long time. But yes, Weigh in Wednesday tomorrow, day 900. Let's have a party. Bring a friend. Every one of you gets a +1. Make sure you invite them over, and have them check out the live stream for day 900. I might have to do a special video for that, like, because I usually do a video for, oh, now I got busy tomorrow morning. I got to figure out how to do that. So, yes, day 900. It'll be a good one. And I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys for the support. If you guys weren't here helping me, encouraging me along the way, I never would have made it to day 900. And it really means a lot to me that you guys come in and you participate in the conversation, and you help push me along. So you guys are all awesome. I will see you all tomorrow. If you have not hit the thumbs up on this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching me an hour and 11 minutes in, you're crazier than I am. So get subscribed to the channel, click that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up this weekend. There's not a birthday party that's more important than your health or well-being. There's not a family event, a graduation. There's nothing that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. Because if those people love having you at those events and they love seeing you, then they're going to love seeing you around for longer, for years and years. So make those diet changes so you can be around for years and years. You guys all have a great evening. We will see you tomorrow.